Hello, welcome back to Marta's Planning Mess. I'm just checking in on my everyday carry, which is a B6 Part 2 vertical planner. So it's nice and slim and has what I need. Okay, this is just going to be quick because it's late and I want to get to bed. I haven't done much in here. I have a couple symptoms I need to mark that happened this last week. Monthly, you can see I've got all my schedule going on in there. Weeklies. Okay, this was this week. I had a little bit of vacation, so I didn't really fill anything in during the weekly stuff because we were just packing and driving there and then kind of relaxing and cooking this day. Came back, worked. Had a day. We went to Kentucky. I guess I could fill some of that in. And then I helped with a retreat this morning. And that's everything for this week. I have nothing planned yet for next week, but I have a lot of post-it notes of what I need to pack in there. I'll work on that tomorrow, I think. My husband went to the grocery store for me. That was awfully nice of him. And let's see, journal still going. So I did start trying to make like a cute little spread for the beginning of the next month. And these are some washi stickers I got from Amazon. These ones are based on Van Gogh's paintings, but it does just have a lot of paintings in there, and they kind of have a bluish overtone. And then just kind of set this up with like some monthly tasks or whatever. Survived the first day of school. I did it. I'm still alive. This was like an epic day at work, and so instead of journaling, I just wrote all the bullet points of everything that happened. So that was kind of interesting. And then I haven't had much space to write much of anything. So that's why I do like this setup because, yeah, I've gotten over a week or a whole week's worth of stuff on 2 pages. And I've got yesterday's and today's to journal still tonight. But yeah, that's how everything's going. I still have my last couple months in the back. Nothing else I filled in there. I might have extra pages. I will have extra pages. But if I find things I want to track or keep up with, I can. I'm still content with this setup. I've been looking at the new Sterling Ink videos that they've been putting out this week of, some of their lineup. Nothing has jumped out at me as like, oh, you need to switch and try something new. I did kind of reconcile in my mind that if I get through this year and I just really feel like this is too big for me, that they probably won't have an N2 vertical in a 2-part thing. So because of that, I may just buy two verticals and just use one of them for the first half of the year and use the daily pages how I need to, and then use the other one for the second half of the year, and just either cut out the weeks, 6 months a week spreads that I don't need, or I don't know. It's just something I'm toying with if I feel like this is too big. I'm hoping it won't. I'm hoping this will work because then I wouldn't have to modify anything. Because it's not that this is a wide planner, but comparatively it's wide compared to something that is this size, which this is not a Sterling Ink at all. This is just something I found that is a week's size. But, it is significantly narrower. So because this is so wide, just drawing the line down the middle and writing in this narrow space like this has really kind of worked better than trying to write long sentences. For some reason, that seems hard to me. So yeah, it's working quite well. I have been in it for a month and a half. Well, not even a month and a half, but since the beginning of July, and I haven't wanted to abandon ship. And I've kind of been like, if this is what I stick with the rest of the year, I think I'll be okay with it. So that's good for me because I'm usually the one that's ready to planner hop. But then again, let's see where I am in the end of October, or even the middle of October, if I'm wanting to change my mind or not, which would be very par for the course. But yes, this is layout is working quite well, and that is the beauty of these types of planners, is they give you all this space that you can really set it up how you want, because not every day I've journaled. There have been some days where I have, maybe not in August, but where I've just used my daily space, here to make a list of things I needed to do. So, and for those that like to have a daily spread like in a Hobonichi Cousin, you could totally do that in here. You could just put this down, this is your day, and you use it as you will, and you could mark the whole book up, and then you would be able to plan ahead. That was my one thing that made me nervous about not having a dedicated daily page, was the fact that I wouldn't be able to, what am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Oh, that I wouldn't be able to just be like, oh, hey, I need to do this task and throw it out into the future. Now, if that becomes an issue, I have enough pages I could dedicate page a day. I think that what I didn't like about Hobonichi, or even in this one, is that it, like in my when I was journaling in my planner tests, which I did for the first half of the year, is that this just seemed like a really big space just to fill with journaling. But if I filled it up with too many to-do lists, then I didn't have room to journal in it. And so trying to find a balance. So I don't know. I mean, if I get frustrated, rather than trying to find a new book, because right now I'm kind of putting my to-do lists at the bottom of the page. And because I've been working so much with my new job, my house has been totally neglected from my perspective, from my point of view. My kids and my husband have done some stuff. My mother-in-law even came over and cleaned my kitchen, or at least made sure my kids finished it. And I barely got in through some laundry last week because it was a vacation day, and I couldn't get into my Verbo till 3. So instead of having to leave first thing in the morning, like my husband and daughter who were going out on the river, my other daughter and I could stay and kind of do some stuff around the house before we left to drive over there. So I was able to get laundry done, several loads, which had been piling up. But my job has been so demanding and more hours than normal that I haven't had like any free time in the evenings to do stuff. So I've kind of given up writing to-do lists for myself, because who's going to do it? But as I'm settling into my job, school has started and things are starting to kind of settle in. So I should be able to just get my stuff done at work, and be able to come home, leave work at 3:00 when school gets done, or 3:15, 3:30, something like that. Get home, get my dinner prepped, and then have evening hours. Say, okay, let's work on some of these household projects that I have piling up. And my children, after this next week, will be away in school. So they won't be making my house messy, and my kitchen especially messy, because they cook and they make a mess. So if I get to that point where my evenings are free and I have to have to-do lists and keep up with stuff like that, and if I get frustrated because this is not enough space, that is an option that I'm toying with right now. Is like, let's say today was the day, I would leave maybe this section for journaling and then have a to-do list on this side. It's a thing I could do, and I wouldn't feel horribly restrained. And if I felt like it was boring, I mean, there's so many cute bullet journal layouts, or stickers that I could put in for my to-do lists, or, stencils. I have all kinds of really cool stencils I could use to like trace in a to-do list section. And I could divide it up. I don't keep work tasks in here. That's actually what this funny little book is for. I bought this off of, I was chasing after a Kinbor planner that I wanted to try out, and I'm actually going to use next January to track my finances in. And it was a Kinbor Weeks, and in my mind I thought it was Weeks size, but it wasn't. And so I ordered it, and it ended up being TN size. And so then I was like, well, maybe I should go back to that same website and just order. I noticed that they had a lot of blank journals. And so I thought I was ordering a TN size blank journal, or like to-do list journal, and it ended up being a week size. And these don't have great paper. It's just thick normal paper. It's got a giant grid with like a timeline and a bunch of to-dos. But because this is so slim and lightweight, this is what I've been using because it's easy to carry in my purse and doesn't take up a lot of room. When I get work related messages, which I get a lot of them, we communicate a lot on WhatsApp. And so parents, they text me all the time and I don't feel the need to answer it and work outside of my work hours per se. But if I open it up, then I'm like, oh no, it's not going to show up as a new message and I'll forget about it. Then I'll just sit down and just copy them down in here. So when I come in the next day at work or after a weekend, I can be like, okay, here's my to-do list of things that I need to get done. And it's in this book rather than filling out my planner. So anyway, I put work stuff that I'm dealing with outside of work hours. It doesn't go in my work planner into this little cheapo thing. And yeah, once I use this up, then I will probably start getting some Sterling ink, just plain notebooks in the week size, the the N2 size, because again, they are so lightweight and portable that they don't bulk up my bag. So anyway, this setup of having a page per day and having a section for to-do list and a section for journaling, that would not work if I was in a TN size. My TN size would give me a space to journal or a space to plan, and then I would have to keep a separate journal. So yeah, I mean, this fantasy of going back to it in N2 size, which I only want to do it because it's small and cute and portable, it's probably a fantasy that won't really work, because as much as I wanted to be a multiple planner girl this year, and I tried and gave it my best, it didn't work so well because they weren't all together and I would forget to use them, and then I would have to do all this backlogging and whatever. So I'm trying to keep it all in one book outside of worship, Bible study planner that rides on its own, doesn't need to be in here, and my fitness meal planner that rides on its own, it doesn't need to be in here. But pretty much everything else does. So anywho, that is something I'm pondering right now, since I don't have a lot to do, I'll stick with just using this as a journal. But because I have enough for a page for every day, I could totally dedicate a page for every day moving forward, and probably still have some leftovers because, yeah, like I had a whole week in this 2 spread. And I usually, yeah, you can see I am not, like here, 4 days. Whoops, that's 3 days, 4 days on one page. So, and I do like the flexibility to be like, I want to write vertically, now I want to write horizontally. I could write diagonally if I wanted to. I love this. I love being able to have control of my layout, which is why these types of planners are so appealing. So, yeah, I'm thankful to just be like, yes, it's still working. I can still see this as a part of my planning system because, again, I don't like being locked in, but the flexibility to change it up because I have enough pages. That was really what got me out of my N2, was I had gotten a compact because I didn't want a big chunky book. And then I was like realizing how many pages that I had left and was unable to use them and to fit the whole year in. And anyway, so yeah, I'm excited about the Sterling Ink release stuff, but I'm not. Last year I had gotten a Hobonichi Cousin Avek, just the second book, because I didn't discover Hobonichi or Sterling Ink or any of this stuff till like April of last year. I didn't even know they existed, and I started seeing the stuff on Pinterest and going, I love that. I want to get a hold of that. So, getting my first Avek and then being like, oh, what's all this other stuff I have available? And then I guess, what is it, September 1st, Hobonichi has their launch for the next year, and getting all excited and wanting to buy stuff. And anyway, I don't feel that panic this year. So anyway, hope this was helpful.